She was in tears and angry. Don't call me a billion, you're the one. Where have you hidden the sky? Lin Tian frowned and glared up. Then he hesitated to say billion. Right after that, the woman holding her head looks very painful. He couldn't stop screaming. Not me. Lin's eyes lit up. He gritted his teeth and pondered the notion of deserving death. I can't believe the hell right now. When I saw that, I couldn't help but scream. The devil is still holding his head. He said that? I never thought I would hurt you before. But at SAO billion with the same name of the school CA harm. The next second I shouted. It is the fault of the universe. Suddenly, there was a man in the body screaming. Shut up, a tiny ray of awareness. Don't expect to shake my 6 angels. Lin's eyes lit up. A red light. He was now on his knees. He raised his head high and shouted out loud. Drops of blood slowly trickling down. Out of the eyes of heaven. You hesitated to say, kill me. The system's notification sounds. Lin Thien encountered the concept of the treacherous leader, losing control of the body. Air value lost 200 points. The owner's fate value plus 1,000 points. Before the eyes of Kai Kai, the value of air transportation is wiped out from the killing law. As a mirror, Lam Du Han shivered and stepped forward. Du Han's face flushed red. She covered her mouth with her hand and hesitated. Lam Du Han was in tears. The school then put her hand on her shoulder. He glanced at her and said, I know you can't go down. Let this wicked man be dealt with. The tears of Du Han slowly fell down. She covered her mouth with her hand and looked at the sky, with a look of worry and sadness. Then, she ran away and left only tears there. The school is watching you leave. CA School's eyes lit up. He asked Lam Du Han and Lam Thien, that's the heart. Do you know, why wouldn't I let this body of yours buried at rest? The sky opened its eyes as if realizing something. He frowned and shouted at you. You know I faked their names and tried to find out who you were. What is the purpose? The teacher smiled a big smile and asked. What is our purpose? And there's a pink light slowly coming out. That light surrounded the people of the CA school. You're asking the question. You didn't always want to kill me? Right after that, CA's eyes flashed a red light. It looks scary. You said SAO asked the opposite. Next, the pink light shines straight into Lao's house. The sky right now, he was also illuminated by that light. He shouted, magic weapon, who are you after all? Why do you have this trick? Seconds later, trying to chastise CA with his hand pressed lightly on Lin Thien's forehead. It hurt him so much. The sky is now sweating profusely. CA responded, a dead person doesn't need to know that much. Lin Tian's eyes rose red. It looks scary. I hesitated to say no. The surrounding scene right now, surrounded by a thick plume of smoke. It was accompanied by a horrible scream. Lin Thien's design. After a while, he lay on the ground. The pink light gradually disappeared. The sky spoke in a weak voice. The soul of the King of Heaven. The whole body of the CA, surrounded by a purple light. I reached out my hands and raised my head. Then you say, the taste, of course, in DTO, make my spirit strong. Many CA schools look at the palm of the hand and continue. But this kind of magic is not easy. Before you know the 10 parts. Can't reveal eraser. The system's notification sounds. Kai Assassin successfully launched. The reduced airflow point rule is calculating. Congratulations on winning the gift. Celestial Treasure Box sales increased by 100 points. Fate value increased by 500 points. The Assassin's treasure chest was recovered, where the airflow in exchange for power has begun. The owner's own air. It can be changed to the value of heaven. The exchange rate is 10. The school thought so. It turns out, that's it. The old guard so far. There's a way to burn the gods to save lives. This airflow in exchange for power while invisible. That gives me one more. Master of the school CA raised his hand towards the treasure chest. And then I thought, next. A beam of light coming from the people of the CA school. Then there's an announcement. The assassin's treasure chest was recovered. The treasure chest was slowly opened and flashed a yellow ray of light. The system's notification sounds. Congratulations to the owner who can steal Buzz' fortune. Congratulations. The host won a third of the seed that destroyed the world. Congratulations. The owner won the violent card of the payment system. An attempt to punish CA saw that. Ask the card to steal the gas. Violent card closure. The screen pops up, an announcement about being able to rob the air. Details can launch a campaign to win the air. For Kai air transport, so based on the state of the Kai's airflow. To decide if the competition is successful will cause the Kai to have a point of return. By 0, the owner will earn the corresponding points. For the enemy, a notification came back about the storm card of the accounting system. Details of the prize. Accounting system won the random storm prize. It can also be 10 hundreds of times. When the school saw that, they put their hands up. Anti-chin and contemplative thinking. Violent card closure. It can be used to kill bugs. What about the card? But you can ignore the rules of air travel. Directly steal the airlift point of Kai. It's a rare good thing. Right after that, CA School pressed her hand on the screen and thought. The price in the city is 1,000 heavenly values. It also means that when you start stealing, at least we also need to make sure that we get 2,000 new airlift points. Which means, in the hidden settings section of the system, the air that Kai possesses. We can meet later. Probably not too low. Right after that, CA School put on a satisfied smile and thought, if you get this news first, it probably doesn't count as cheating. As soon as you press the chest on the screen, there's a series of announcements coming up. Rewards box beyond celestial level boot. Congratulations on winning the Ring of Light. The ring's limb is in the process of transformation. Congratulations on winning the Ring of Light. Congratulations to the Lord on receiving God. King Tritam. The screen shows a notification. The fate of God in the body. If you're going to be the antagonist, you will accidentally see the difference. CA School sees that, then fold your hands and think. You can see the difference in airflow. He said he will see the air later. It will be more convenient. Not a few CA schools think that. But if you're straight, you're straight. Death will also miss a lot of opportunities. Of the value of destiny. Then you get the God on the screen. And think about the harm in it. You have to consider it carefully later. CA School holding God King of Mind in hand, and ponder the thought. This heart contains the divine realm of the priest. Thousands of years of cultivation of the mind of God. Just mix it up straight. Finished thinking. Then the king of the gods put it on his chest. Seconds later, a yellow light all around. To merry people of the late CA, and you've been getting reports about Tianxia. Ma Badi Tian Rich Village Ferry, Ma Gong, Destiny for 1,000, Air Transport for 150 City. Opened the spell to break the magic of the Tianxian ghost. Body of Heaven and Earth. Heaven 3,000 Airship for 150. The city has opened the spell of destruction. God's grace and grace. Village magic injection. Heaven 2000. The 450 strong airlift has opened the spell of destruction. A screen pops up. CA School's personal information notice. Character of the CA School. The circle of light of the opposite destiny. Celestial body. Heaven, bow foot. Transmitted disciple. Physical blood vessel. Phantasmagnesis core technique. The 8th level of the celestial power. 10,000 flowers ghost body endowment. Angel memories of heaven and earth. Heavenly destiny value 1,500. Air transportation points for 150. The merchant system has opened its treasure trove. A third of the seeds that destroy the world. 2 cards to rob the air. The violent card of the settlement system. One of his hair soared with a yellow light. I thought to myself, it's just an ascension to the celestial sphere. And yet, it's costing 3,000 of its destiny. 2VI also sits firmly in the post-production. CA School looked at the palms and pondered. If you want to break through the top of the landscape, I'm afraid it will cost more than $5,000. Then, CA steps forward and ponders. These things are true. It's a moment that can't be stopped. I just walked away thinking. Think of the 8 ghosts right now. It can be convenient to solve the problem of the ceiling bug. Even with me now, he is no longer worth taking advantage of. The things of the world. You also have to prepare in advance. As soon as the CA School just walked out, then the Hulk stood there waiting for the cassava. Autumn Han shed tears and frowned. Then she hesitated to say, "Sir." CA School gently taking hand, wipe away the tears for solder. Then the CA School comforted. Why is the matter of Lin Thien already dealt with? The false soul that occupied his body was also destroyed. And then he turns around and he goes on. Let me leave you in peace. Even though SAO is taken over by people, it doesn't count too long. The soul may not have been destroyed. Maybe there's a chance to switch back. Elm Lu Han is still very sad right now. The tears keep on rising. Slowly take your hand, wipe away those tears and say, well. Thank you guys. The moon became a way. It's been 3 days in Central Europe. The way in the city. It's a lot of people going back and forth. On the other side, there's a group of people gathered and talking. I can't believe Callow is destroyed like that. That young man from the world. What is the background? It's not easy to say. We've been hiding in the mountains for years. I don't understand those characters. Suddenly, there's a voice. No matter what background he has. Then Ra is the chlorophyll. She walked over and screamed, just poking into the CACA bear eucalyptus. I will also make him pay. When everyone heard that, they screamed. Don't worry, lady. Even if that person is from heaven, to God as people, we are nothing. No, he dared to blame the lady. This is not going to stop. A man from heaven. The world is not his turn. The eyes of the glass aphid glowed brightly. She asked Antoinette if she had any news of the CA ceiling IP. Snow stood behind her and was silent for a long time. And then she said, Lady, how you feel? His spirit works in Jiazhu. Last time was pretty. I haven't smelled his breath in a long time. When he heard that, he bowed his head and said sadly, So why this time? Surely the CACA bear had suffered a lot. The snow said that lady. Lady surely the Emperor of Clam Wall in 9 Heaven. Sooner or later, we will return to heaven, but I'm afraid it's hard to reach the physical world. I advise you. The cup of tea says. I know you all despise the CA. But I believe he will definitely rise to the top. He said don't blame the poor boy. Snow closed her eyes and said that was not wrong. But with the ability of the naked aphid, Give him another 30,000 years, why? There are those who are born of destiny who stand at the end. That he can't reach forever. He stood with a group of men and shouted. Stop talking, Snow. I have to go to the so-called young master. From that world, if something unpleasant happens, the old man stood beside him. Please stop your feet too. When the Snow heard that, she sighed carefully. I won't let anyone hurt you. At the same time, CA's teacher picked up a knitter and watched. I sat in my chair and said, the nature of the Han lady in DTO. It's only been a few days that Denmark has had some success. Jen lowered her head and replied, thanks to the letter that he gave. Thank you very much. Suddenly, the sky darkened and there was a violent lightning. Han saw that. He frowned and looked surprised. He held a teapot in his hand and asked what it was. Right after that, the man of the forest appeared at the door. The owner of the forest shouted, who dares to enter? Lamb Gia Ancient, then Ra is the IP. Drink with your followers. Has started to act. Someone laughed and screamed. Little Lin Gia, we are the people from the ancient statue of Sun. I haven't come here yet. The owner heard that. I was sweating and wondering. Wonder the god of paint. Slowly, the glass landed on the ground. The owner asked. I do not know the gods of the mountain. What do we have to do in the forest? Save the glass boldly replied. You go and tell the old school of AP. The police want him to meet. The owner lowered his head and said, if you want to see the old man, wait a minute, I'll notify you. IP's subordinates came slowly and asked to see him. The owner said this a little hard. Do you know that you are guilty of the misdemeanor? Then he pointed his hand at the head of the owner. He was so worried that he was sweating. And then he said, Forest. There will be land in heaven. Suddenly, IP's subordinates saw something. So I startled myself. Then in the sky appeared a giant hand. Along with a yellow lightning appears. His hand was pointing straight at his head. And then he was pointed lightly in the face by that hand. It made him grimace. The yellow light was getting brighter and brighter. Moreover, Yi Liu Li and her subordinates, seeing that, is not surprising. To the point of grinding teeth, the light is shining. The owner had to cover his face with his hands. Next second, the yellow rays also gradually dissipated. The surrounding scene right now, it's all surrounded by a gourd of white smoke. The sky also became bluer. The glass is not out of surprise, to the point of rolling your eyes. The owner sees that. He turned around and asked hesitantly. The guy tried to chastise the CA and replied, let them in. A retainer of IP Lao Lai, put out your hands and catch the yellow rays. He frowned and hesitated to say. Lack of owner. IP's followers said that. For better or worse, we are the gods of the mountain. He said to kill a lawyer just now. Have secretly felt the majesty of the landscape. What kind of background does this person have? And IP Laili frowned. He seems to be very angry. And then the glass whispers us in. The surrounding scenery, it's so quiet and tense right now. The snow whispered to me. Just entered the forest. I felt a strong atmosphere. Locked up very clearly. Can use gentle breathing lock. Locked to VI angel scene. VI like me. That we can't trace where he is. I'm afraid that the power of the forefathers. He's even become a king. She frowned in thought. The chaotic atmosphere of the landscape just now. It must have come from that young man. Such power. He also brought a servant of the king. Suddenly, Snow opened her eyes and thought. But wait, if this young man tries. Maybe it's from that episode. She slowly disappeared and pondered. If that's true, you can't let the lady get away with it. If you can take advantage of this opportunity. Close relationship with the prince. That's the thing. Nothing is equal. Seconds later, the snow appeared in front of the caterpillar. When you see that, you wonder what the snow is. And she prayed and answered the lady. This is urgent, as I see it. Suddenly, he appeared behind Aunt Snow's back. She went on to say that she understood. You hear that? Put your hands together and think. What did you mean? It seems that this woman is communicating goodwill to me. At the same time, she's still sitting in her chair. CA School put their hands on their chin and cheered. Then I thought. The soot expression of the old blood eucalyptus when the ear is lowered. The world of deep emotions. I'm familiar with this blood. Then the CA bar asked. They're going to kill them. CA School heard that and gave a sinister smile. And answer, do I look like someone who kills SAO? And then he stood up and said, let's go. If people are in a hurry to get to work, we also have to be a little more proactive. As soon as the old school CA just walked out the door, then the Lord's people bowed their heads and say in unison, Lord, Lord, Lord. CA School slowly moving forward. It looks majestic. The snow sees that. He gave a satisfied smile and thought. This is the look. It's hard for the young people of the world. I walk in front of the glass. I asked you if you were a young man. The snow is standing next to you, and your head is down. The school asked lie. You are the epitome of the dead. On top of the glass, it tells you that your airspeed is 800. The school thought that. But this is not something else to say. Hoa is also NDTO, and this head has. Air velocity is 800. Then the snows bowed their heads and said. The old man. This is my family's lady. I'm in charge of protecting guests, the lady's elder in the lower world. The lady has desecrated. Please try to forgive. Don't let the glass stand behind you. When you hear that, roll up your eyes. And then IP frowned and said, Aunt Snow, you're talking too much. She turned around and said, Lady, maybe this is a misunderstanding. Take this opportunity to say it. If not, the flood to the Dragon King Temple is not over. End of CA. If you hear that, you will respond to the customer and say, what's everyone's purpose here for? Snow closed her eyes and asked, let me ask you a question first. You're from the late Ra Sao. Behind my lady is the elves of the IP family. Say it out. Our two families have known each other for a long time. Liu Li's subordinates heard that and immediately spoke up. The students tried to Ra Sao come and say, the Thai ancestors were not guilty. If we live forever, we are not guilty. And the glass of water would bow down and be silent. Said nothing. The school said that, turned out to be a Thai fairy. I don't blame the lady for not being so afraid. I hit the door too. When he was young, it's true that the farmer has a lot of contact with the owner. It seems that my ancestors already know that I belong to Ra. When you listen to music, you frown and think. Father is not. He is the only heir to the eternal life. If so, the future of this man. Liu Li's subordinates are all sweating profusely and screaming. I can't believe the owner is missing. One of his subordinates wrinkled his face and hesitated. He tried to get out, and he knelt on the ground and screamed. So it's not that the owner died in vain. Next second, Liu Li's subordinates all knelt down and shouted yes. It's true that we spoke inappropriately earlier. I hope people will forgive us. Eyes do not see that Tai-san has a desecration. Please forgive me. And IP Li still frowns and ponders. Why is it so? The snow turned to talk. Lady, this is completely. Sorry for the misunderstanding, sir. What kind of person does the man have? Why do you care about a person as small as a caterpillar? The glass bends under its face and starts to grind its teeth. Right after that, the glass yelled. In the snow, I don't need to talk anymore. I can't apologize to him. She pointed her hand at the CA campus mortars and screamed. He hurt Chen CA. CA hiding for ways for people to give the world. I heard that whispered. This kid's in love with a naked bug too. Under pressure like this without a uniform. Then I licked my lips and thought. But it's still a kid after all. It's a simple heart. It's not that your relationship with the Aphrodite is so good. So we're going to start from this point. Slowly swallow you up. CA School slowly stepped forward and asked, so what's your purpose here? I'll talk again today. If not, try an explanation. Even the descendants of the ancient Thai fairies. And right after that, the CA hit, creating a purple glow. It looks scary and screams. We also kill without mercy. The snow came out and screamed. Try to be less angry. This is a desecration of Our Lady. I hope the prince falls in love. The purple light gradually fades away. CA School was serious and said don't talk. The glass is sweating profusely right now. She frowned and glared up at him. Then tried to chastise CA called Min name. The old man appeared and replied. There's a slave who speaks. Every 10 breaths kills one. CA School said in a very scary voice. If there's an AI that resists Chu, kill them all. The hordes of the aphids. He was sweating profusely and couldn't stop screaming. Lord, spare your life. They're screaming. Miss, save us. We don't want to die. The fate of our family lies in the hands of that lady. If you hear that, turn around. Right after that, he turned to scold the CA School. You are unscrupulous. The snow stopped, lady. Seconds later, the chair is brought to the center of the yard. CA brought me a cup of Ra's tea and said, the tea man is here. Slowly sit down in your chair and respond. Then the snow turned to the lady. The lady doesn't understand. With this condition of the late prince, if you want to kill a real dog, even if the sky is strong, it is difficult to escape. It's certainly a misunderstanding. You are the princess of the ancient Thai fairies. The old man is the missing owner of Ra's school. You just need to keep your head down. Surely the Lord will not make it difficult. The glass frowned and gritted her teeth, and she replied, like you can't be a good person. I tried to hold a cup of hot tea in my hand. That's the order. It's over 10 breaths. Soon after, the old man threw out his hand. A purple ray of light. It comes out of your hand. That ray of light shone directly at Liu Li's subordinates. Get them thrown out. The rest of the staff. See that? He was sweating profusely and rolling his eyes. He seems to be very scared. White Tiger's face was equally panicked. The man he was targeting earlier. It was pierced through and slept. In an instant, there's a murder scene in the blink of an eye. Make you panic and scream. Will the rest of you get down on your knees? Stop crying. Please save your life. I don't want to die another. White Tiger blames us for coming here. You can't leave me. The guy on his knees earlier, hugging Liu Li's feet and crying. Obviously, just a little good attitude. It saves us from death. But the lady said, he's in tears, his nose is covered in tears, the day of our lives. Not even a word from the lady. Sao. The White Tiger also spoke, my lady. Miss Callis for killing Sealing CA. Our CAs don't care about us. CA school sees the chaotic scene right in front of it. There's a smile. Very evil, and could not be more villainous. Save lie. After a while, I watched my followers make a mess. Then pull your foot out. The subordinate is hugging and shouting. That's enough. You gritted your teeth and said, today's story was desecrated. She uses a face that can't be upset. I couldn't be warmer and more respectful to the school. I'm sorry, I hope you forgive me. The school is now. Gently put the tea back on the hand of the CA bar. But silent for a while. I waved my hand. The old man stopped looking noble and said, sorry, no need. We're not the bad guys. This little thing, of course, doesn't matter. The snow is now relieved, my lady. I finally solved the misunderstanding today. As I said, the Lord will not make it difficult for us. Liu Li's subordinates finished listening. Breathe a sigh of relief. They knelt down and screamed. Thank you for your life. Thank you for your love. CA school, all the faces said. You don't have to thank me anyway. The one who let you live is the one who saved you. If you want to thank her, thank her. He looked at me and whispered to this guy. Then you stop to think for a moment. And then speak up, young man. Today, I actually have something to want.